Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, got Coach Pablo with me, and he has had a lot of experience with all levels of players. But we're going to focus on the difference between a 3.0 and a 3.5. Stay tuned. Hey guys, are you learning or are you trying to improve your tennis? Are you taking a 1-hour lesson a week or possibly 2 1-hour lessons a week? But are you playing in between? If you're like me and I tried to learn to play the drums, in a 6-month period, I played the drums 30 minutes every week, only during the lessons. So if you want to accelerate your progress in tennis, get a fast track. Because if you're not practicing in between and you don't have a game, at least you can hit 1,000 forehands and 1,000 backhands. That's what the fast track does. It gets your game going. It gets your muscles memorized. So guys, get your game on the fast track and accelerate the progress that you get from your lessons. Click on the link below and get your tennis on the fast track. All right, so Coach Pablo's here with me today. About 2 weeks ago, Coach approached me and said, we should do a video on the difference between a 3.0 USTA player versus a 3.5. And I'm like, the difference would be like pretty narrow of a range in my mind. But what were you thinking?
I think in what I've seen is there's a huge difference. And when we're talking about 3.0 and 3.5, movement is a really big category. Control the ball on all areas of the court is a huge category. And then there's also experience level of competition, because a lot of people come into tennis playing other sports. Mm-hmm. And some people come into tennis and they have no experience competing or playing any other sports. So those 3 categories are huge. And if you have 2 out of the 3, you're going to do pretty well and you're going to move up pretty fast. If you have 0 out of the 3, you're going to stay at that level for a long time, that 3.0 level. And then the other thing too that we see a lot at the clubs is everybody that's a 3.0 wants to become a 3.5. And then, it's tough if their friends are getting better because their friend played soccer or played softball or played other sports and they're more competitive. Then they're going to have a faster time kind of doing better in matches and getting the skills that they need to move up faster. So those are the big things that we see at the club level a lot.
So you brought up a good point. Now, athleticism can get you how far?
At the 3.0 level, if you're a good mover, you're going to do well. Because at the 3.0 level, you're not playing against a lot of power. Mm-hmm. So if you can cover the court at the 3.0 level and have basic consistency, mm-hmm. you're going to be a nightmare to a lot of those 3.0 ladies, especially. And you'll be able to cause a lot of havoc by making so many balls. Then let's say you learn how to close and you learn how to volley. You learn how to start putting some balls away. Now you're looking like you're headed to the 3.5 category.
Right. Now, when you're a 3.0 and you have a 3.5 together, playing singles together, what does the 3.5 have that the 3.0 doesn't?
Control of the court with their skill set and their shot selection. So in singles, you'll see 3.0s just trying to make balls. Mm-hmm. And if you're a 3.5 in singles, then you're trying to put patterns together. You're trying to hit a drop shot. You're trying to hit a lob, or you're trying to take a ball out of the air. because you have a basic awareness of how much distance they need to cover, your opponent. And you're not just thinking, I just got to make the shots. I got to make the shots. The 3-0 level is it's starting to get that understanding of court positioning and how much time it takes and how you can steal time away from your opponents, but you're still working on your consistency.
Right.
The 3-5 level, you're consistent. You're a consistent player. You know you can hit certain shots. You know the basics of how to get a defensive ball back, how to approach the net and look where you're looking to take a volley. You can see what they're doing, and if they're backing up in the court, and you can expect a lob. That's all going on at the 3-5 level.
Got it. So we actually printed up a 3-0 player versus a 3-5 player from the USTA website. And from what I gathered here, a 3-5 has more directional control over their shot and a volley, which is what you kind of just mentioned. Like they're semi-comfortable at the net. They are controlling where the ball's going at a slow to medium pace. At a 3-0 level, your volley is inconsistent. If there is even a volley, you're swinging at things when you shouldn't be swinging at things. And your directional control is, trying to get it in the court. Now, what I can see, and maybe you can see this too, is an athletic 3-0 who literally will just run everything down and just send it back up in the air, aka a pusher, can and sometimes will beat a 3-5.
Yes. Yeah, and you see this a lot when a 3-5 is playing a 3-0 and is worried about losing to a 3-0. They'll get a little bit tight, and then that player will keep getting the ball back, and that 3-5 is responsible for hitting a winner or finishing the point. And if they start missing it, then that's a match. Then it's tight.
Right.
And that's what you see, right? Even at the highest levels.
Oh yeah.
You see the pros. Alcaraz is supposed to beat this guy, but he just keeps getting every ball back, and Alcaraz is having a bad day. Right. And that's all across the levels that happens.
And that's when that 3-5 plays down to the 3-0 level.
Exactly. Exactly. Because that 3-0 is just happy to be there, happy to be in the match.
Exactly.
And they don't know how to finish a point. Right. So they're just going to make the ball.
Right.
And they're just happy.
Drive you crazy.
And they're happy with that. Right. That's success to them.
Yeah.
The 3-5 is like, I should be winning this match. I should be finishing that point. I should have hit a winner on that volley.
Right.
And she got there. And that's when that pressure builds up, and then they start missing and getting frustrated, playing lower.
Right. Now, what do you tell your 3-0 students that want to be a 3-5, like lesson after lesson?
The biggest thing is learning how to hit different shots in different areas of the court. Your stroke needs to change. You have to be able to make your stroke more compact when you get inside the baseline. You have to be able to finish in front of you when you get inside the baseline on a transition shot. And then you have to be able to change your grip from a transition shot to a volley grip. And then you got to make sure that you don't take your racket too far back on that volley, because your body weight is moving forward. And if your racket goes too far back, then you're going to overswing on the volley, or you're going to be late on the volley. So the biggest thing is really understanding, okay, I'm in this area of the court and I need to adjust my stroke to the area of the court that I'm in. And not thinking so much about what's coming at you, but just more about how to control your body and your preparation and your finish.
Got it. And so a solid 3-5 has what characteristics?
Solid 3-5, again, knows what shot they should be hitting wherever they are in the court. They can understand that they need to adjust their stroke based on where they are in the court. And they should have the understanding of, whether it's doubles or singles, of how to benefit themselves and win a point with court positioning.
Right. Now, grip you mentioned. Do you expect a 3-5 to have a continental grip on a volley and on a serve?
No, not all the time. Definitely not. I think that that's just unrealistic.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of 4.0 players that have not a continental grip.
Okay.
There's even some 4.5 players that have not a continental grip, but they're athletic.
Right.
And they know how to use their wrist and snap the racket the right way, and they've gotten there. Now, the right grip would help them execute the shot better, but I don't think it's necessary.
Oh, okay.
I think you can still be at that level without having a perfect grip.
So a frying pan Western grip for a serve and a frying pan Western grip for a volley?
Yep, you could do it, and you could hit it hard, and you could be a 4.0 player.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, is it going to be as effective as it would be with a continental grip? No. Like, you're going to have to swing more. You're going to have to, do some things that you wouldn't need to do with a continental grip. But, I mean, I coach players that are 4.0 that don't have the right grip. Some players that are 4.5 that don't have the right grip, and they're winning matches.
Okay. All right. Because I always push continental grip. And I tell people to hold your racket like a continental, like 24 hours a day, so you can get used to that grip.
I used to do that. My job around the house was like, yep, just keep holding the racket and swinging the racket.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great way to do it, just to get comfortable with it. It is just comfort.
Yeah.
And for me, and for the coaches, that I've worked with, it's making small adjustments in their grip. It's a big change, but if you do small adjustments over time, you can get somebody there within a year.
Yeah.
We should do a video on 1 year to change a person's grip.
Oh yeah. It took me a year to get a continental serve.
Yeah. And you could do it in a year, but they got to know, like, they got to work at it every week, holding that grip. A really good way. Well, we could do another video on how to do this, but I think that the big thing is, rather than the grips, it's understanding what shot should I be hitting when I'm in this area of the court, and what should I expect back? Because a 3.5 in a good 3.5 will start anticipating what shot they're going to get after they hit a shot.
Right.
And
planning ahead, yes.
And then they're going to be ready for that next shot easier. And that's what you start to see at that development level when they're starting to head to the 4.0.
Right. Now, the question that everybody asks is, I'm a 3.0 now. What would bring me up to a 3.5 according to the USTA?
I think the big thing with that is transition. So just becoming more comfortable coming to the net and converting a volley.
Right. How about win-loss record?
Well, win-loss record is how you gauge all the levels. But I think that the biggest thing that happens is you get a short ball or you get to the net and then you miss it.
Right. And
you make an unforced error. And that's what happens to a lot of 3.0s.
Right.
The 3.5s make less of those errors. The 4.0s make less of those errors, because in doubles and singles, you're going to get a short ball.
Right.
It's just going to happen. And it's more about converting points, transitioning.
Got it.
That equals the success of a player moving up or down.
But the USTA can't see that, though.
They can't see that.
They're only going to see the win-loss.
Yeah, it's just results. It's just results. Yeah.
I mean, do I have to be 20-0 this year in order to move up to 3.5?
Oh, okay. Well, if you want, so you want to know how many matches you need to win,
right? So and how much by? So
if you win a match, if you win 3 matches that are, let's say 6-2, 6-1, or 6-0 in each set, then automatically in that category, you're supposed to be kind of benchmarked.
Oh.
And if you win a match 6-0, 6-0, let's say you're a 3-0 and you beat another 3-0, 6-0, 6-0, right? Then you're supposed to be benchmarked. And so what that means is you're basically going to move up if that's singles. In doubles, it's different because there's 4 players on the court.
Right.
So the algorithm changes, and you share the points or the amount of credit that you get from the win. But singles is the best way to look at it.
Right.
So you want to try to win your matches. If you're going to win, you try to win decisively, 6-2 or 6-1 or 6-0. If you're winning a lot of matches, then I think, yes, in a one season, the seasons are different because it's spring and fall. But I'd say more like in 1 year, you'd shoot for over 15 wins and 0 losses if you want to move up.
Wow, that's a big goal.
It's a huge goal. I think it's just not realistic.
Right.
So that's why most players, if they're going into the year, they want to just have a winning season, a winning record, which is fine.
Right.
But it's hard to say if they're going to move up. Usually what happens is it depends on how their team does. And if their team makes it through playoffs and into sectionals, then they're going to get more points, or the algorithm will help them move up faster.
So that brings up another question for me. If you want to be a 3.5, and let's say you're really a 3.0 and you're getting back into USTA competition, why don't you just self-rate at 3.5 and get knocked down instead? Would that be better?
It kind of depends on, I think, your confidence level in competition. If you feel like you are better at just jumping right into competing, and you don't overthink it and you don't get too nervous, then yeah, just self-rated at 3.5.
Right.
But if tennis matches really wig you out and you can't eat and you're nervous and you're then go 3.0 and win matches.
Okay.
And help yourself get better. Just because if you go right into 3.5 and you play matches where you're already nervous and anxious and you're worried about losing because you're going to lose your rating, that's like a double whammy. You don't want to put that on yourself right away. So I think it really depends on the player and how much they love competing or not. If a player loves competing, then just throw yourself right back in there and go for it.
So a 3.5 hits a better ball than a 3.0 though, right? Won't you see better balls, less lobby, less garbage up in the air? Wouldn't I rather play that instead?
Yes, but if you are a 3.5 with good strokes that just hasn't competed for a long time, you should have no problem, beating the 3.0s. You see this a lot when, ladies or guys just want to play with their friends.
Right.
And they're coming from experience, but they just want to be with their friends who are just kind of starting or not as good, and they're at 3.0s. They'll go into a 3.0 season, have a season of it, and then they'll get bumped up, to a 3.5. But yeah, if they're on their own, you're right. They're going to face a better ball at a 3.5. Right. And so if they're thinking, I might miss if I play a pusher.
Exactly. Then
they should definitely play a 3.5 level.
All right. Any final advice for the 3.0s out there who want to be 3.5s that that's not written?
I think the biggest thing I would say is keep competing as much as you can, and keep working on finishing points at the net. Okay. I think that's an understated thing to work on, and I think the serve isn't as big a deal because you just need to make it. Okay. But you need to be able to close the court down and have confidence finishing at the net.
Okay. And you heard it from the coach himself, Coach Pablo, who's been coaching for, what are we talking, 15, 20 years now?
Yeah, long time.
Yeah. And he's a professional player, guys. Hit with Sampras before in the past when he was a junior. So 500 in the world at one time. So he knows tennis, and he knows every level of tennis. So thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Always a pleasure.
All right. Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.